So we've talked about some players who've not been getting game time and saying how will they be able to prove themselves ukuthi they are good enough if they are not given minutes at grounding. On the other hand though, you have players like Reeve Frosler who have been given plenty of opportunities to prove themselves and they've not delivered. The question is then, what is actually going on with Reeve Frosler? Hello and welcome to Kosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pilo. I am your host. This is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs, Kosi Football Club. And in today's video, I want us to talk about 5 things that I have noticed from Reeve Frosler season so far. Now, the first thing that I will talk about is that the attribute that I have been talking about mostly when it comes to Reeve Frosler is that he is one of the most, if not the best, crosser of the ball PSL, especially if you have a striker on a height ga Caleb, because the moment he gets the ball around the 18 area, he can deliver with his right foot and his left foot. But this season, even that, he's even failing and struggling to do that, and it makes me wonder ukuthi what is going on, because akusikho ukuthi beginning of the season besithi angeke he's being played at left back, and because he's being played at left back, it's harder for him to make crosses, because as much as he can cross the ball with his left foot, but then he needs to have proper balance to make a cross with his left foot. But now he's playing at right back and we're still seeing the same problem. And if you notice, it's not like a lot of crosses have been made by Frosler and then Caleb has missed them. It's just that he's not getting those crosses right. And it makes me think, kahle kahle yini inkinga if your main thing iyakhulula kwayon. But let's move on to number 2, because number 2 could help answer number 1. Number 2 is a movement yakhe in addition to the winger that he plays with on a given day. So if you've noticed with Chiefs this season, how we're playing is that usually we seem to prefer our wingers to be the ones who cross the ball. And in my mind, I think I understand that from the thinking Gazwane, because Kwayena, he was that kind of winger, Ugutiwa Tribula, and go on the side of the winger and whip the ball in. So when that happens, that then means ama fullbacks to have to invert. We've seen it so many times ukuthi uHlanti ube inverter, and we've seen it many times ukuthi also uFrosler kwayena uya inverter instead of ukuthi overlap, because ukama KG on the left and then Ashley on the right are the ones who usually try to beat the defender and cross the ball. So because of that, it's possible ukuthi the volume or the number of crosses that he has to make per game are few, and if you're not like crossing enough balls per game, that means eventually when you get a chance to cross the ball, then you might just make poor deliveries. I am not defending him. I'm trying to be neutral in my analysis and see ukuthi is it possible ukuthi movement umuntu adlala naye is the one that's causing him to cross less balls. And also, if it's no longer your primary role ukuthi cross amabhola but usuba inverted and the role yakho sekudlala ama 1-2 either with attacking midfielders or the winger, then mostly into zobususebenza kuyo during practice is the movement yakho of the ball to try and avail yourself so that you can play ama 1-2 with the winger. So maybe that could be a possibility. He's no longer focusing on being sharper in crossing the ball because he knows Uguti doesn't do that much. But that's not to say that's an excuse, because you know Uguti eventually at some point you will get a chance to cross. But it's a possible explanation that could be there. Number 3 is that, okay, fine, we get to Gutama deliveries our crossy maybe because your role in a team has changed slightly this season. But even the defending has also been just bad. Sorry. I don't know. Like seriously, even in defending, I've always felt like Reeve has been very good as a defender. Good going forward, good going backwards. But now even defending yakhe has not really been impressive, because magdlala yena lapha kwa right kuba nembobo, because manje sekusaba nokuthi if kwenzakalile wa overlap then leya mbobo isizovuleka. Sesindela ukuthi ke in the game ye Pirates for example, okay, kwakhona Solomons, but asingaba nenkinga if Reeve was there, because at least Solomons wa overlapper, but then sas depend on his pace ukuthi uzoya phambili, but then he will be quick to recover and close down that space that he left vacated, and then Umat would be there to cover for him. But just this season, it just feels like Reeve is also off when it comes to that. And I hope ukuthi akusekho ukuthi isystem yethu is more attacking, and in that way when they try to counter us he's usually further up, because it could be possible ukuthi he's still like searching and trying to fit and trying to adapt to ama tactics ka coach. Number 4 could be ukuthi if it's a role searching. Number 4 is role searching. I don't even know if that makes sense, but I will try and explain. So here's the thing. Frosler, we've seen him this season in inverter. We've talked about that. But we've also seen him playing as a number 10. Not like the entire game, but we've seen him being at the edge of the box, trying to get ama shots off. And at times it did feel like he's being given a free role to just move around wherever he wants to, because he has a good touch. He can play across with his left or his right foot. So maybe because he's been given a lot of things to do, or options amaning that have been opened up to him, ukuthi this is what you can do as a player. Maybe you can move around more and then see what you can do wherever you are, because any into that he might be used for is to just overload certain areas around in. And when he was used in a game, I think it was the Gallants, where I just saw him a couple of times playing as if number 10. It's possible ukuthi it's just Uzwane in that game was trying to like use him to overload the midfield. So what am I saying about role searching? It's possible ukuthi then because of that there are a lot of things that is trying to incorporate to his game, and by doing so he ends up neglecting one of the things that we've known him ukuthi he's good for, and that is delivering the balls into the box and being able to also defend. But a friend of mine usually said ukuthi ma defender akumele ukhohle primary role yakho ukuthi, which is to defend. And the other point, to point number 5, is that, as they say, form is temporary but class is permanent. It's possible Juguti is just having a bad season, because players can have a bad season. I don't like coming here and always just being negative about players and saying how he sucks, he must go out of the team and never come back. But mhlambe he's just still discovering himself, and because of that, as the season goes on, he will get adapted to a system gazwane. So I hope ukuthi form yakhe really gets better. Thank you for watching. I will see you on the next video, and until next time, remember, equals alpelu moya.